The following program is an LTX Enterprises production. As we get underway with tonight's show, don't forget about our friends at the following programs: the Searcher and Hide podcast and Outside the Ring STL. Before we start the show, we pay honor, tribute, and respect to the greatest nation in the world as we play our national anthem. June 4th, 2021 will be remembered as a sad day for the Midwest independent professional wrestling community. Christopher Vance Sr., otherwise known as Pimpin Al Blundy, suddenly passed away at the age of 63. All of us here at the Falls Count Everywhere podcast extend our love, sympathy, and prayers to his close friends and the Vance family during this difficult adjustment in their lives. At this time, we will toll the bell 10 times, followed by a moment of silence for one of the best heel managers of our time, Pimpin Al Blundy. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is episode number 40, a very memorable episode here of the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby, and I'll be introducing the other gentlemen here that will be joining us here momentarily. But I just want to let everybody know that this is definitely a tribute show to Pimpin Al Blundy and for all that he's done here, not with just American Championship Wrestling, not with just any other particular promotion, but anywhere that he worked, he gave his heart and soul to the wrestling industry. And we're here to honor him tonight for all that he's done. Joining here on the other side, from Huntington Beach, California, we've got Mr. TQ, Matthew and Skyler III, and we also have in person Playboy Double H and Virgil Holmes. And guys, how you doing?
Hanging in there, needless to say. It's been a long few weeks, but I can't thank the wrestling community, the wrestling fans. I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of support that my father has gotten the last few weeks. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to you. Thank you to GQ. I can't thank you all enough.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a big adjustment, especially with things coming up this weekend here. And hey, you know, I know that Al would want us to go on, and he will want us to go even stronger, and pursue a lot more things, better things, to still come for you guys, and just and of course, Virgil's still going to be at ringside here with you, Virgil. And I'll tell you, man. I mean, now you're going to have to step up to the plate, and you're going to have to watch. You're going to have to watch your man at ringside a lot more closer than you have been, man.
Yeah, that's true there, Ruby. But I will never replace Blundy in his shoes. That's for sure. But I will definitely be at ringside with Playboy here. I'll be his little sidekick. That Blundy used to always call me. But I mean, I'll be the manager I can be. But it'd be nothing like Blundy. I'm gonna try my darndest to be like Blundy, but it's gonna be hard. But I think I'm ready to take on the adventure of being the manager for Playboy. So,
yeah, and like I said, it's definitely going to be a time of adjustment. It's going to be a time, that things, something new will come to the fold. I'm sure, as far as new feelings, But before this week, like I said, we've taken time out tonight because we want to let everybody know that, we want to recognize all that he did. But then, of course, come this weekend, at least especially coming with ACW, it's going to be a different feel, with I know the Playboy will be in action at the St. Clair show for American Championship Wrestling. I have the daunting task in the 100-degree weather outside defending that title against Brian James with his return clause, whatever the case he wants to make it. But
and that's actually 200-degree weather, adding on everything with you and the weight of the belts that you carry. So yeah, that's a lot more pressure on you.
And you wonder why I didn't even recognize this guy, because it's like I know he came right into your guys' match. You were like, I heard the first place he went right to the door, fridge. He went right for the freaking fridge. Hey, what you got in here, man? That's what he did. I know it. I know that's what he did. Either that or the remote, whatever, one of the two. But, probably both. Well, yeah.
Yeah, hold on. If you want to talk about food, the amazing food that we had out in Hannibal, all made by Blundy and his family. It's like even the two different potato salads or whatever, macaroni salads, and it's like, I wanted the recipe actually. So
yeah,
that was the one thing that he did. He tried to feed the boys always.
Oh man!
And I remember hearing one story from CSWA told the story about how all the guys were there and Markel went straight over to the foods to start eating it. till they found out like it. He just went straight for it. It's like, and found out that everything was fronted by Al Blundy, and he always made sure, because that's one of the things that is always a daunting task for us: find food on the way or right before the show, so we can try to eat a little something.
Yeah, and I know, and he did all he could just to I mean, like I said, and Playboy has stated many times that it's something that he didn't have to do, but it's something that he always wanted to do, and boy, I'll tell you, I'm sure last week was being at the visitation, being at the the funeral services, and then of course the gathering after. Of course, I wish I would have stayed later, but my dogs were caged up all day. I had no one covering, and my daughter had to go to MMA class that night. But I'm sure you guys had some good fun, and just to enjoy, and
They had to renovate the mansion after the get together at his place. So,
yeah, I heard Wicked was there, so that's I heard some new items of furniture had been ordered and shipped to you.
That was probably one of the one and only times you actually see Wicked in pink, but he actually wore pink.
you saw so many people wearing pink at that. It was amazing, and the respect that he gave the boys is what was shown back. That bottom line is because he gave so much respect to everybody else. That's why we respected him on everything that he's done.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as where we want to go tonight, we want to we want to kind of get we want to kind of take back in time to where it all started, because now I'm sure a Playboy will confirm for me, but we heard stories from when you were like 3 when you saw wrestling for the first time, and that's what you wanted to do, and that's something that that's something that you strive for. So, so all through school, I mean, all through school, you played sports throughout high school, I guess, like baseball, and of course, I forgot what other sport that you were involved in, if any. But you still wanted to pursue wrestling after that. But from what I hear is, originally your dad did not have any intent of even wanting to get into the business.
No. Well, I'll take it back. Through high school, I played. I did wrestling a year. I played basketball. Played a little bit of baseball. He was my manager growing up. Seems like I said this at his funeral, but seems like every year we won trophies, and it's just the guy he was. I told a story that, there was one game we were there, and he was getting back and forth with the umpire and the other manager, and he got kicked out, and he ended up having to go to the parking lot. He had to be off the premises, and he was at the park. He was up at the street, screaming from the street, managing from the street. I mean, that's just how dedicated he was to anything that he ever did. And then, he would haul me back and forth on Saturdays as a young kid going to hockey games. I played roller hockey, and he'd be up there screaming every time I make a big save or win a game. Yeah, I just remember days or mornings watching wrestling with Dad. And Hulk Hogan was my all-time idol, and he still is to this day. But I always told him as growing up that I always wanted to be a wrestler. We always pull up home videos. I think I got every wrestler in the book every morning. Every Christmas morning, I would open up a new wrestler. I knew every wrestler that was open, from Junkyard Dog to Hulk Hogan to Rowdy Piper to Macho Man. I had all the figures, and I'd have the rings and everything like that. But I always told him that I wanted to be a professional wrestler, and he made sure to make that happen. We first seen the first independent wrestling show I seen was actually RCW. They were at Lost Valley Lake, and I remember going with Dad because we were so excited there was pro wrestling over the weekend when we were camping there, and we went and watched the show, and believe it or not, Ruby had hair, and he was probably 10 times skinnier than he is now.
Wait, I gotta do that. Hold on, where is it?
There we go. We're starting already.
I got to. What's it like this?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, somewhere like that, somewhere around there.
Wow, Ruby.
But I remember that day. It was an outside show at the back of the lodge or something, and I mean Brian was flying Brian James at the time. You had Izzy Blackwell, doing his hardcore stuff, and I just kept telling Dad that I wanted to do this, and he made sure, just because that was the type of man he was and the father he was, he made sure to at least figure out the interest in it, and he talked to the promoter there, and we ended up hooking up a few weeks later down in a training center. I remember pulling up the first day, and it kind of got lost going through the neighborhood. And we pulled up, and it was mainly like a little small garage, and I thought, wow, this is kind of neat. You walk in, and it's just a ring surrounded by like 4 walls, and they had a couple tables and chairs or whatnot, and guys in there bumping and doing all kinds of stuff. And I walked in, and he walked up and said, "Hey, this is my son. He wants to be a pro wrestler." Blah blah blah. So I remember going through a lot of the drills then and stuff like that. And there was times where he was constantly. We probably went 5-6 times a week just to train, and he made sure that I was there each and every night, even when there was times where I said, "Dad, I don't know if I really want to do this now that I've been thrown around. My body's aching." But you know what? He kept pushing me to be better. So I ended up going. I mean, we would go at least 3-4 times a week, and we'd go in there and just. I mean, we'd go at as soon as he got off work. I mean, we'd get there. We'd leave about 5:30, and we wouldn't leave or get home till maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock. I mean, we would just go hard at it all the time. And I know there was a time later down. I guess the electric bill didn't get paid, and the guy that my dad was, he ended up going outside and turning on his headlights and shining into the building to make sure that we were able to train that night. And so we trained for a good 3-4 hours with just headlights shining into the training center.
Would it be this one?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was.
Who's that guy on the ground?
That's a young Playboy with lawn tips and talk about some old school stuff. But so just the kind of guy he was. He made sure that if I was really into it, that he would do it. And I just remember him. Every Saturday we'd have shows every Saturday, but when you came up in that time frame, you never really were able to just work a match right off the streets. We had to train and go and work security many times and put up and take down the ring 1,000 times before I actually worked my first match. And he made sure, knowing that I wasn't going to be wrestling, but he was there every Saturday with me and made sure I was there on time, made sure that everything was done the right way. And when it finally was time to work my first match, he was there actually. It was an outside show at, I believe it was Eureka Days, and a couple of wrestlers had backed out, and the promoter came to me and says, "Hey, did you bring your stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got it in the truck." And he says, "Well, you're working your first match tonight." And I remember walking out at the time. I think I had a white robe. It was like a bath robe. It had a Playboy bunny on the back. I had some blue tights, I think, at the time. I actually walked out with a cane then, and I had the hat I used right now is an original hat that I've had. It was white at the time, but I ended up, transforming into pink. And I remember walking out there and seeing my dad, just the grin on his face was just so huge that it lit up seeing me walk out there and living my dream. So for him to actually see me walk out there and entertain something I've wanted to do, and he made sure that I was able to live my dream. And fast forward 20-something years, here we are now. But there's a lot more stories we can probably go in later of how we got to the point where he's at. But that's needless to say of how it all began as far as Playboy Double H.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, that's getting having a training center. I mean, my God. I mean, for those guys that got in, like when I got in, I had access to a training center, and I went 3 times a week. For about 4.5 months before I finally got my official match. And of course, I got into a couple rumbles before then. But it's like knowing how to get out of the ring, or knowing how to take a landing when you get your butt thrown over the top rope or dropped over the top rope in some instances, and taking your battle wounds, taking your battle scars, and and build some experience from that. Um, not sure about when this happened, but there was a time when you. I'm trying to think because obviously you had to start. I don't know if it was like '99 or 2000. Whenever you started on the.
I think it was 2000, around 2000.
Okay.
May have been at the end of '99 in the early 2000s.
Right. Um, I'm trying to think about when, because I remember some shows we had in back in like 2002, where actually he was kind of involved with you being a ringside. But I didn't remember the Playboy gimmick being used at that show, and that was kind of a short-lived gimmick, but still, I don't know if you.
Get fun stuff because he's trying to forget when you did this to him.
Oh, for God's sakes!
I
I don't even know I don't remember when that was.
I don't remember that, to be quite honest.
Yeah, yeah. He was a young gun at the time, so I mean, I don't know. It's over that.
Yeah. Well, we won't go there.
We don't talk about old gimmicks.
Obviously, that gimmick only lasted about a show and a half, and they said, "Yeah, you're going back to Playboy." So, I think everywhere I go, pretty much they know the face, and I either get to walk out or handshakes at the end of the night. So one of the two.
Yeah. Dang it! I missed. I was hoping to get him on a spit take. Man, it was that close. That close. Oh my gosh! I remember also when you we'll say the letters here, but with RCW back in '02, when you were Playboy, you were coming out with the Rich Foundation and the Richie Rich, Miss Lori, and then you also
he's really hitting you below the belt on that one, ain't he?
There was Travis Cook.
Now that was a good part of that, but then you had the other.
Yeah, Travis got PYT. He was the manager that would put definitely workers over, and so I remember that at that point. But was it? Did your dad not really get involved as far as like getting in, like participating in a show until he got to like UWA?
No, he actually he didn't want to do anything with wrestling. He just wanted to see his son happy. And then when I had left RCW for the first time, we went to an organization, UWA. And after that, obviously I dropped Travis Cook as my manager when I had left there. So I didn't really have a manager at the time. But Hollywood Stud, rest in peace to him as well. We were a tag team over there, and we were still carrying on the PYT thing. And at the time at UWA, they didn't really have a ring announcer. And they knew how Dad would always kind of entertain and like to kind of mess with people or whatnot. So they had actually came up with the character Al Blundy. And he would walk out. Yeah, there he is, Bad Al Blundy. He was the head ring announcer. And he would walk out to Maryville Children. And he would always come out with the Maryville Children song. And he'd walk around the ring and try to, his hands in his pocket, he'd try to shake the fans' hands or whatnot. And as shows went through, I mean, he didn't do bad at it at all. But as the shows went through, the promoter at that time for UWA was like, hey, what do you think about being Playboy's manager? And Dad was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I just won't do anything. And I tried to explain to him that we're not like really trying to kick him out from being a ring announcer. And he said, I just want to be a ring announcer. I don't want to do anything else. Well, so needless to say, I was able to talk him into it. And I said, just give me one opportunity. If you want to go out there, just go out there and just do the manager thing. And if you like it, you can keep going. But if you don't like it, I don't expect you to do something you don't want to, that you don't like. And needless to say, he went out there that first time. He didn't really have the pink attire or the coats or nothing like that. But he kind of walked out there. And I remember after that first match, I think I might have won that match. And I remember walking in the back, and I could just see him smirking real big. And I said, I thought you didn't want to do this. And he said, it wasn't too bad. It was fine. Like, that was always his thing. It's fine, or I'm fine. So as time went on, he was getting more adjusted to being a manager, and he was always that guy that would just like to rile up a crowd or just be the center of attention type guy. Just always liked to have fun, and he was having fun. And needless to say, as time went on, we kind of evolved him into that heel manager of yelling at the crowd. And he kind of saw me over the years kind of doing my thing, and he kind of just went along with it. And we shortly transformed him into wearing the pink jacket, the pink hat, and he at the time, I don't think he had a cane at the time, but we pretty much just introduced him as just Al Blundy at the time. And I believe when we had left UWA, when we went back to RCW the second time, we had shortly worked in the Pimpin gimmick. And pretty much from there on, pretty much everybody here who's probably watching knows from that time on what kind of character he really was behind the Pimpin Al Blundy gimmick. Yeah. But needless to say, he didn't want to really be a manager. He just wanted to do the ring announcing. He was not all about being that manager, but
he always wanted to find the select women to hand out this to.
Yeah.
Oh.
But needless to say, he did it, and he loved every bit of it. So.
Yeah.
He got hooked. He found out how much fun it is more than ring announcing, definitely.
Yeah. So one thing here that I'll quickly share, and I was gonna kind of ask upon a couple other things here. After the news of his passing, and we were just kind of trying to gather, what to do, and I'm just sitting in my office that Friday night, sharing the news, and right before my daughter goes to bed, I guess she was like picking up her room or whatever, or messing with her phone, and she's like, "Hey, I thought you might like to have this since this is from the last show he had, and I know that you would want at least something, that he had." So there you go. That was he handed that out to her at the Hannibal show. So it's been sitting here on my desk, and so so I'll definitely want to make sure I find I'm going to put that with my definitely with my other wrestling keepsakes and all that. So but that just one of a kind though. Toward that was one of the later stages that he did in his career, is just hand out business cards with a number, which now that number, I kind of wonder where that would get you anyway.
He was definitely proud of those business cards, and he surely enjoyed every bit of handing those cards out. He thought he was just the man out there.
Oh man, and I'll tell you, I mean, well, if you give yourself a moniker Pimpin, you have to make sure you're presenting yourself as hey, you're the one in control. You're the one like, hey, I could put you to work and all this other stuff, And of course, oh, you guys wearing the shirts here recording with "Shut Up, Stupid" and everything else. I mean, that's something that that's a phrase that he pretty much coined and made into a shirt. And my gosh, you didn't think it'd go over, but my gosh, it went over anywhere he went. So
this is proof that heels, or bad guys as is termed, can sell merch, and used to never see that. If you were a bad guy, you didn't sell. Nobody wanted to buy your stuff. But look how many of these shirts, wristbands, everything that's out there now that they sold. It proves how well he made them over, as a good manager does.
Yeah. And it's with PYT, I mean, PYT is one of the most over factions that's carried through over the course of many years when it started. Building heavy members in and out, and like I said, he anybody that was in, he was always at ringside whenever he can get to, when he got to the shows and everything. One thing I was kind of thinking about here is because I was looking, I was like, man, I don't know how to find a pink blazer. It's like I don't know. I mean, because I like to, with a pink blazer and everything else like that. I bet you if Mr. GQ would look good in a pink blazer or a magenta blazer, that would go good with this shirt. And your black pants, man. It would.
I won't argue with that. I mean, pink still does look good, and that was one of the things that whenever we had that major event in Rampage with
Yeah.
when we had that one cage match, I was so happy to be out there working with Blundy out there. And we had the Kane versus Kane where I was Kung Fu GQ. And everything went, whoa! And he looks at me with that look is like he wants to crack is what it was. And he just couldn't. But there was a proud moment being involved with these guys in that match. And he got the heat everywhere he went.
Oh yeah, he did.
I mean, we know personally there's some idiots out there that still don't let it go because of how much he got.
Right. But I mean, seriously, I mean, when he walked out and along with you guys and even with the music playing, I mean, everybody knew it's like they weren't going to like it for whatever reason. But that's just the nature of the beast and doing what you do best. And hey, nobody likes the style of being arrogant and you rubbing it in their faces. And they don't like it. Oh well, deal with it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the PYT style. And so one thing I will, when I want to kind of think about, with Blundy and what he's done. I mean, he even goes I mean, if he knows somebody in the crowd, he'll know and he'll pester them, such as whenever, like over 4 years ago, I was actually attending a WPW show, wasn't booked to work anywhere, and I just wanted to have a night out, want to watch and everything else. And, PYT was there and with me and my wife. Well, everybody knows my wife is not as tall as me. We'll just say that. And Blundy made it to
I'm not touching that one.
I'm not either. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. It's not as tall as me. And I guess Blundy kind of made that a point in his little conversations, his little shouting to her. And he got up in her face and she hauled off. And I couldn't remember if that was called on or if it was a surprise impromptu, but at least he took it like a champ, and it kind of shook me back a little bit, and I was like, okay. So that's just even with guys that know that know the work and everything else in there, it's kind of like, ooh, it's like these guys really can't get underneath their skin because I can feel it, But oh my gosh,
what was his top moment in wrestling that you can recall?
Top moment. I don't know if he really had a top moment. I think his top moment was just going out there and doing his thing. Every time that music hit and he walked through the curtain, he did nothing but enjoy going out there and doing what he actually truly liked to do. And that was just to have fun and antagonize fans and say his famous phrase, "Shut up, stupid."
Or I'm going to pimp you tonight.
Yeah, I mean, whoever thought that 3 words of "shut up, stupid" would be so popular? And that guy made sure of it. I mean, it was his idea to come up with the shirts. It was his idea, the saying. And I still to this day can just, outside of wrestling, I just hear myself saying "shut up, stupid," and not even thinking about it. And now every time I hear it, obviously I kind of tear up. But obviously we're going to live it on. We've bulked up orders on some T-shirts, or the Shut Up Stupid shirts, because I have a really good feeling that we're going to get a lot of requests for those. So, just those three famous words. And I just think his proudest moment was just to see me out there and doing what I do. I mean, I could go on and on about different stories that I've done that a father would be proud of his son for doing, but I think I could reverse it and say I was proud of him for doing something that he was kind of uncomfortable at first. But I loved every moment I had when he walked out with me out that curtain and was able to see up close and personal of his son doing something that he truly loved. And I think his biggest, proudest moment was to actually see me up there doing that and just being proud that he was able to let me live out my dream. So
That's good. And like I said, I mean, he was busy with doing other things as well. And, and we're going to get to those here in a moment. But here's how, when I kind of want to reverse that role or that question toward you, Playboy. Was there any moment that involved him like in one of your matches? I mean, through any promotion, is there any type of memorable match? I mean, it could even be even like a botched scenario or anything else like that that could have happened. I mean, because Lord knows, I mean, things do get messed up from time to time, and
yeah. Well, there was one incident. I think I believe it was a WPW show. He still talked about it to this day. He tells the story all the time. I think I was working Chaos in a match, and we needless to say, we went over and some fans that were just brand new to it, and Chaos being the good guys out there, kind of talking to the fans. They said, "Oh yeah, we're having a good time as long as nobody touches our beer." And needless to say, during that match, I got thrown into a pan of nachos, so I decided to take a beer out of that bucket, opened it, and dumped it all over Chaos. And to see those two, that man and woman, get so mad, it freaked Dad out so bad that he actually broke character, walked over and said, "I am so sorry, let me buy you a beer." But that's just the kind of guy he was. He always looked out for everybody, not only me, but he always looked out for the fans too. And obviously we played the bad guys and do the bad things and stuff like that. But I just remember that one story that he still told up to the day that he died. And he was scared at that moment. He thought, "Man, I really thought that guy was going to come over and kick your butt and all this other stuff." And he ended up buying a beer for the guy. And then another incident, I remember him. This was one incident. I was working Wicked in a match in RCW. And I had done a move or something, or I was down, and he kept poking at Wicked. And there was a time where Wicked came out of the ring and literally started chasing Dad around the ring. And I've never heard him get so scared in his life that I got up and he's literally going, Playboy, come get me, please, please, please. So he was literally scared that Wicked was going to attack him. And then there was another incident in the Armageddon match in RCW as well. The entire day, he kept telling me, "Do not make sure you do not bleed in this match." He was always a portion. And we got to the point towards the end of the match, and I was going to go through the door after a big spot was made. I was going to go through the door, and Chris Riot's or War's wife was there and slammed the door into my head and busted me open. And I remember falling down, and I knew I could feel the blood coming down. And I kind of reached up and grabbed my forehead, and I thought, "Oh man, that's legit blood." And I remember when I got up, and I think I put War in a figure 4. And as I look up, and he's staring across that cage, and he was just frozen. And I could just see him mumble under his voice of, "You mother," and
you're allowed on this show.
He literally stopped and was stood there for about 5 or 10 minutes and just stood at me. I could just see him in disbelief that he thought I really obviously, I mean, that was hard blood, but he thought that we were playing a prank on him, and I can just see his voice. I can see his face right now still. And I remember Warren and I were talking about it too, that to that moment that we could still just see the vision on his face. So, I mean, that's just a couple stories of him, but that's just inside the ring. And there's probably 1,000 more of what kind of guy he really was in the back or outside of wrestling that that has touched a lot of people. He took care of everybody. He always made sure that he put everybody else in front of him before he was ever, part of whatever it would be. He always put that person ahead of them. He would make sure he was the last one. And that's outside of wrestling. That's family. He was a true family man. He made sure that my mom or my sister or myself were always taken care of. And he always made sure of that. And he loved his family, his brothers, his sisters, his mother and father dearly. I just remember having conversations with him many mornings, and he lost his father years ago. And I just remember him obviously I was lucky enough to still have my dad at the time, and just to see the heartbreak in him not having his dad there, because they would drink coffee every Sunday morning. And now sitting here years later to realize that, boy, I sure wish I could have him here to have a cup of coffee with him. And now he's up there with his brother and his brothers and his dad finally, and hopefully they're having the best coffee ever.
Oh yeah, I imagine so. So what I want to do here is, if a GQ is on the banner here, I definitely want to throw out the invitation for those who are listening tonight, for those who have if anything you want to ask Playboy or even with Virgil, we're going to throw up that listener line. So go and give us a call, 314-764-5540. That is our line. If you wanted to talk, or if you have a Blundy story, something that you remember best about Blundy, or something that just like really got you go, that Blundy triggered. Hey, it happens to the best of us.
Speaking of triggered, though, if you think, well, look at this real quick.
Hey,
there it is.
now, do you see my face though? It's like, oh shit.
Well, you see my face. It's kind of priceless, because I don't know what to think when she did that.
You were like, I'm going to move out of the way so you don't hit me, is what it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
He
So
did that like a champ.
he did.
Well, I remember being there next to you guys during that, and he wanted that. I mean, I'm not saying he was trying to pimp out your old lady, but he wanted that spot.
Yeah, he loved that stuff, man.
But you guys, they brawled you over to there too, just for that, and because we made sure we kept the thing of nachos also during that one as well.
And you know what the thing is? Me being out there with him, I fed off of him, fed off his energy, fed off his, just the way he just played this crowd. I mean, like I said, I was new. I was new at the time, in the wrestling business. I think I started getting involved when he was wrestling for Neil. I used to be a ref for Neil.
I didn't even know that one.
Yeah, I used to be a ref for Neil. And I still remember.
That makes me wonder if I can find pictures of that.
I remember when I kind of messed up on Playboy's match, and he grabbed the chair and smoked me in the back because I counted way too quick on his match. And ever since that, I quit reffing, and then I think I started just getting into the walking out with them and all that stuff. But just walking out with Blundy, man, just the way he fed off that crowd, just the way he did his thing out there, just learning all the, running your mouth to the crowds, people, pissing the crowd off, pissing the fans off, just the way he did it was just like, man, I think I could do this, and I started doing it. Well, when they wanted to bring Blundy in the ring to get his butt kicked, guess who it was? His sidekick Virgil used to go in there and just get his butt whooped for Blundy, but I love it. I love this business. I did it, because, Blundy can't take the beating, so why not Virgil's go get his butt kicking, and everybody cheered. When I got my butt kicked, everybody's like, yeah, but it's, Blundy was the person that just loved it. I mean, I love seeing his smile. Like Playboy said, I love to see his smile, man. When he was ready to walk out that curtain, his man just raising his hands up, stand up, just his smile, just the way he loved it, man. And I'm gonna try to keep on doing that, for him, But I tell you what, I kind of figured out how to interact and piss the crowd off now, so that's for sure.
There you go.
And this is the thing that amazes me. You still have people to this day having their profile photos as
yes,
and overdoing the frames a little bit, but
yeah,
it still works.
Hey,
That's the referee guy that somebody from the doorway of Broadway was yelling. I don't know who that was.
yeah. Who was that?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
man. Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm whistling. I'm whistling, baby. Oh man. No.
Talking about how he was also a fan and everything. I know we were supposed to be back from it, but when you look at this, he's got that smile on his face because he's watching the match.
I mean, look at it. I mean, he loved it.
I have the scowl and no shirt, but he's just
Yeah.
smiling, watching it and everything. Chips looking off. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing against him. It's just how much he enjoyed watching Playboy
Yes.
and the matches in general.
Yeah, he did.
As I look at that picture, I would never have thought that would have been his last wrestling show.
Yeah. I know, me neither.
Beating somebody else.
I never thought about it, but I mean, I know I remember our last conversation we had was in there, and asking about my wife who was not there at the time, and asking about how she was, and then learning about how he had to check up on some of his health issues, and it's like, hey, well, like, are you make sure you're okay to do this, because trust me, even if it means, and I'm sure that any manager will attest to me, will make a testament or testify to this, that even if you're not inside the ring taking like physical wrestling, you're not bumping, you're not taking a punch, you're not taking a kick or a move, whatever, that still takes energy out there, and that still can put a strain. You need to kind of make sure that you're ready for anything out there, pretty much, especially if it's, I mean, really, from Missouri, you're kind of safe because you have to be regulated to only do some things if you only have a certain license. But hey, whatever. But uh, let's see. Let's go push this here on. Let's see with this right here. So with all the time and effort he put into Playboy's career, how was he at and after Playboy's first match? Well, I mean, I guess we kind of went over that though. I mean, because his first match was actually kind of a spot on, and he was actually in the crowd, and he didn't really get involved until he was with the UWA. So, I'm sure he enjoyed it. I mean, the part that he enjoyed about it was basically with Playboy being in the ring and doing what he did, and what he loved to do. And my God, I didn't know that he did that many high school sports or sports in general, like hockey, basketball, baseball. My God, I can't even get on a pair of skates, much less. Holy cow! God, you can see.
Yeah, I'll be nice. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, I know. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down, right?
I've never seen him on wheels. Though. It was like,
right. Yeah. No, I used to roller skate, but that's all I did, and I'm not even doing that. So, no, man, you're good. So, yeah, anybody's got a good story or anything that they want to call in about, like I said, numbers right there, scrolling across the bottom of your screen right there. So as far as what he did behind the scenes, in all that he did. I know that when it was with ACW, wanting it to succeed as well as he did. I mean, some of the great stuff that he did. I mean, as far as finding leads for Searcher, and not just for like show ideas or whatever the case may be, but like pointing away to like a trailer that needed for the ring, because the poor Twinkie truck wasn't making it to the shows apparently too well, so I had to get rid of Twinkie.
And nothing to do with it.
So it's like you named that old thing Twinkie. No, it's right off that.
I used to call it Big Banana.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, it's like here goes. Yeah, Frank Reed had an old banana like a GMC Suburban when he was back in back in the freaking 90s. I was like, oh my god, because I remember riding that thing around to my first trying to fly for my first match I was gonna have. I remember riding down that.
Another one of Blundy's ladies here, actually.
Oh yeah, here we go. He was going to hit someone with his cane, tripping Playboy's opponents when the ref wasn't turned. And yep. Hey, that cane can be used for many, many things. And there's the hookup.
Yeah, if you actually see his cane now, seeing it at his funeral, that thing is just there's no straight part of that cane at all. So he's hit a lot of bodies with that cane. Tripped a lot of people too.
He's hit Brian James quite a bit with that cane.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he has. Sure he has.
I know it's somewhere. I don't have it right now, but I know he's even hit Wicked with it once.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's probably what Dennis did it to begin with and did no damage whatsoever.
Yeah. I don't remember what got him to do that, but I just remember him running around, and I've never heard him scream like he did, screaming for me to protect him. But yeah.
I mean, you guys have seen how evil he can look, and he's coming at you full speed. And you're trying to get away. I'd run too. Shit, man. This is. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I definitely won't be hitting Wicked. Kudos to Blundy on doing the job that he didn't have to do, but definitely putting himself on the line for it. On that. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I mean, like I said, the stuff that he did, behind the scenes, for especially for ACW, leading toward the the trailer, and like we mentioned before, I mean, the man had got up and started cooking food for not just the guys, but for like all the staff, everybody that was part of the show,
and the families,
and their families. Yes, he's like, yeah. Like I said, yeah, he always come to me like, hey, is Trisha out here? I was like, tell her come in to get something, or get your kid around, come and get something. I mean, he was inviting like the families of the wrestlers too, so it's not like he was trying to feed. He was just trying to basically just provide for everybody and families of the promotion, and it's.
And he didn't use big grills. He used one of those little small ones, cooking for everybody. It's like, how the heck? And he was doing it all morning, like in Hannibal, doing it all morning.
Yeah. Oh man, he what was it? Oh, I know. Yeah, that he did, Cindy. He did take care of everyone. I don't know, Playboy, you might have heard this, but earlier tonight when Shaft was on Outside the Ring STL, and I called in, and GQ had called in, and we were talking. He had brought up a story about how they had like they had like a Facebook Live duel off on cooking days. He was like Shaft was like cooking chicken wings.
I believe it was July 4th a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think he had grilled the day before or something like that, and we had come to his pool party, and he had his grill open, and he had all the meat on there, and he said, hey, make sure you go Facebook Live and make sure you tell Shaft this is how you grill. Yeah, they had a bickering war of who grilled better, and Dad just always enjoyed grilling. He enjoyed family time. He enjoyed just having people over all the time. I just remember there's stories. My mom's like, yeah, your dad's having another party, and he just liked to entertain people. He loved everybody in his family. He always welcomed. There was many times that we've had wrestlers over just for a regular barbecue, and he always wanted to bring a lot of the wrestlers to his pool party that he never could get to there. And I know he was building up his lake lot to invite a lot of the wrestlers down for a weekend.
And of course, your dad was a better barbecuer than anybody, including, as I seen a poster of Count Chocula there.
Yeah, Count Chocula.
He's definitely a better griller than most people I've had. Obviously better than Shaft, but I'm definitely going to miss the barbecues. I'm going to miss just the phone calls or the FaceTime calls, or just when something major happens in life. He was always one of the first ones I'd call, and it's hard still to this day to not be able to pick up the phone and call him. A story yesterday, I don't know if my mom's watching or not, but we had a birthday dinner for a relative, and we went to a restaurant that him and my mom enjoyed to go to a lot. And I'm sitting over there in the corner. I look over, my mom's in just tears, and it was hard for her. She thought she could get through it, and as we left that restaurant last night, I asked her aside. I said, "Are you going to be okay?" And she said, "This was a little harder than I thought, because he would have been up there cracking jokes, getting his big plate of pasta and a big old salad, and just being himself and just enjoying family, because he always truly enjoyed family." And she said, "This was harder than I thought." And to know that he couldn't be there with us really hurt Mom a lot. And it's hard to see now that, he's hurting just like the rest of us, but it's small things. It's small things like that where you don't really realize when you truly miss someone.
What the hell is going on with you over there?
I don't know what
it
that
sounded like
was.
somebody, electric man talking.
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting. I'm letting my device lock out, and I have to get back into it. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, but at least it's not my soundboard that I have open over here on the side, and we had nobody to go off on, so it's not in use. So at least I have no reason to use it, I should say. Hey, hey, look, you already get that. Look at that. GQ's already getting blamed. You had to go with the name calling, GQ, and now he's pointing stuff at you.
You know what? You're retired. Go stay that way.
Yeah.
I got to deal with him next month or next week. Sorry.
Next week. You going over there next week?
IEW.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You're in the main event. Yep.
Hey, I don't know. I thought you were going down to the studio or something. For a bowl of cereal. I don't know.
No, I volunteered myself to go travel there all the time. I already made their numbers go up when I called in. So.
Yeah. Ironically, no. At least the Facebook viewers are going downward, actually. So at least from what I saw. But it might have been down for me, but up for you. It reverse psychology, I guess, in that aspect. But yeah, no, but man, the food that he put out, man, it was excellent. And, I like to barbecue when I can and when I have the energy to. And of course, when the wife's like, "Man, you're gonna barbecue today?" I'm like, "I guess I can." The only thing that really bugs me about barbecue is I can't get the fire to keep going. And I have to keep freaking feeding the dang lighter fluid, which I don't like to do that. and then I get it to a good temperature. Now I get the meat that finally goes, and then it takes like about an hour later, and now my fire's like at freaking 400 degrees when I was like about getting ready to pull everything off.
Then you start calling at the neighborhood and everything, eating some of the building. Local children end up missing because they eat some and everything. So,
no, and I had a lot going on last time I barbecued. Hopefully my stove is working here. I guess I'll let everybody know that I kind of did a boo-boo and I turned on the wrong burner trying to heat something up. And
Can you lower your standards for that match?
And that guy wouldn't even make it to the ring. He'd be crippled. That was one match that Dad did want to see, and it never did go down.
Yeah. I don't know if he, but every week we hear him on. You say you never know what's will happen. I may just come out of retirement. That must be a trademark. That's
the best thing that ever happened to Shaft's career was retirement. That guy was a joke.
Yeah.
The only gold that he ever won was the gold teeth. That was the only gold he's ever had. Was his front teeth. So he talks about these light heavyweight belts. What organization has a light heavyweight belt? I mean, come on now. The guy's not even in the lightweight division. The guy's like, what, 250 pounds? He says he's won the tag belt. He said he was a champion there. The only gold I've ever seen that guy wear is on his grill. So, yeah, really.
Really?
Yes, really. That's the only gold you've ever won. Dude. It's the teeth that you carry with you every day. Count Chocula.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and even if you get on the video feed, we actually have a way to get you on the feed here. Just let us know, and we'll send a link for those who are trying to get in here. Oh yeah. I'm on the floor. Oh. Oh wow.
Drew, if you have that, send it over to me, and I can put it on here real quick too. If you still have that somewhere.
Wow, March 2020.
It took him that long before he got put on a flyer?
Yeah. He never was ever put on a flyer.
Oh.
So I remember him budging him a lot of times saying, hey, why am I not on that flyer? Whoa. So I guess he finally got tired of hearing him and put him on the flyer.
Yeah. Hey, it took a while. Sometimes it takes a while for anybody to get put on the flyer, I mean, some promoters know you should.
I'll let you know when it happens for me.
Oh yeah, well,
they want people to actually come to the show.
Well, I mean, when you got a face for radio, it's kind of hard to put something
do this
on.
Again. Remember, he goes to check the door right now.
I know. I'm just joking.
And you need two belts just so they could go around your waist.
All right.
Wow.
Oh my god.
But no, that like how we joke like that is almost like, and I would almost ask you to play the voicemail because that shows just how funny he could be, but sounding serious at the same time. And all the language would be allowed on this one, definitely. But it's like he would mess with you so much, and that just shows how much he actually loved and cared about you. Definitely.
Yeah, I've tried to explain to many people the bond that I had with my father. My mom still, to the day when we found him there, I went to go hug her, and she was more worried about me than she was herself because she knew how close Dad and I were. It's really hard to explain. I mean, he truly was my best friend, and he was the guy I would go to at every incident and would get advice. If it was advice that I didn't think he was right on, days later or weeks later, I'm like, damn, he was right. Or just hearing him just talk to me about certain situations or things that I was going through at a hard time. And he was always the one that would always reach out every day to make sure I was okay. And just having that conversation, I'd call him and he'd be sitting in his house and I'd pull up a FaceTime video and he's, what do you want, man? And it's just the connection that him and I had every day. It's really is truly different right now. It's something that's going to be hard to get used to. I don't know if I'll ever get used to it. I don't think I ever will, but I know
I got people trying to get in. By the way, I'm trying to work with them on that now.
I've tried to. When Dad had passed, I really thought long and hard of just saying, put my boots in the center of the ring and give up wrestling. But I know how much he loved wrestling, even though he would tell me every time we go to a wrestling show that he was nothing outside of a manager. And I've told this story each time that I've gone to a wrestling event and they wanted me to speak on Dad's behalf. And I've always told that story about every wrestling show we drive to. He'd always tell me, I'm nobody, I'm no star, you're the star, I'm just a lone manager. Well, these last few weeks have truly shown he was more than just a manager. He's probably one of the top managers in this area. And what's sad and what sucks is we always talked about he never truly thought he was good enough to get in the Hall of Fame, and he obviously was damn good well enough to be in the Hall of Fame. And it sucks that he won't be able to be here to give his speech or see me go in one day. And that kind of hurts a lot. But I know, and I kept thinking about that when I thought, well, maybe I should just give up wrestling. But because of things like that, here I am, still going to go. And obviously Saturday will be my first show since Dad's passing to actually work. It's going to be tough. It's going to be different to walk through that curtain, not have him standing in front of me screaming at people or telling women that he's going to pimp them or handing out his cards. It's going to be extremely hard. I'm going to put it out there right now. It's going to be hard when I walk through there or hear my music play for the very first time at a wrestling show, and to walk out that curtain and not have him there is going to be a different feeling. But I know he'll truly be there with me every bit of the way. So I couldn't give it up.
Well, here's the thing. If you were to ask him, I'm going to give it up, what would be the 3 words he would say to you?
Shut up, stupid.
And talking about that poster and everything.
There it is.
Oh man, I love the artwork. I just love the way that art is, with the guys that are presented in there. That's just great. That's some good stuff from Drew there. That's good stuff, man.
Looking at this and making me think a little bit, how many different members of PYT have there been?
There's been a lot.
There's an NWO list here going in a second, I think.
Not as many as the NWO, but darn near close.
Yeah. Well, the thing is when PYT was first formed, it was supposed to be like the NWO, but it was never supposed to get that big. But if you look back at a lot of the members that have been in PYT, I'm talking from myself to I think Jason Chaz was in there in the beginning. You had Hollywood Stud. Hawk Elliott, Marcus Mansfield.
Actually, you did say Hawk Elliott. He was a member of PYT,
he was.
right?
That's what
and by the way, he's right here.
Yeah. There he is.
Oh, John, you're live with us. Finally, you got through the back door.
I finally figured out how to get in.
First thing is the power button. That works.
Yeah. You're talking about electrical equipment. It don't work that easy with me.
Right. Oh man, but good to see you on, man. So like I said, you were part of PYT, and then also I'm sure you have some good Blundy stories or some good memories to share with us.
Oh yeah. Blundy, he was definitely one of a kind, I had just, 2 older guys in the locker room sitting around talking and talk about, we always talked about our kids and, even though you're a wrestler, we still talked about you guys and, everything growing up and the grandkids and baseball and sports. And, he was always concerned about my wife. He was always concerned about, what's that?
That's Ruby.
That's Ruby.
Ruby's electrocuting people over there.
He was,
Sorry.
Oh no, that's good. Always asking about Leo. Always like you guys said, he always put himself well ahead of everybody else. And
Jeez, Ruby.
What?
Turn the electric chair off for once.
that sounds like Dr. Frank.
Oh, you need a TENS unit, but still, come on.
Oh, I don't know why he's still going. I had
It's
to line him all the way
like you're
down.
being electrocuted is what it is, Ruby.
Oh, is that better?
No.
No.
Oh, well, are you hearing like interference?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me figure
It's
something
called
out.
user error.
There you go.
It's called I got too many wires over here,
There you go.
I don't want to come back here.
and I got a couple water around it.
Yeah, that's good to keep water up by it then.
Yeah. It gets dirty, just rinse it off.
Okay, go ahead, finish up, Hawk.
So, well, what did you hear before I was getting electrocuted?
The last thing you talked about was baseball, and then you stopped. You got stopped
I
there.
mean, yeah, he was. We would always talk about sports, especially with the grandkids and everybody. All the kids being involved. It's just when we sat and talked, it was a lot about family stuff, and you could tell how much of a family man he was, and he was a man's man, and he's definitely going to be missed. I mean, it will not be the same, but his legacy lives on. You, Chris, and your kids, and all that. He's never gone. His legacy's always there.
And the biggest thing to remember, and I think Hawk will agree, he didn't want you to fill his shoes. He taught you to fill your own shoes and do how you need to do things in life.
It was always
That's a big.
Yeah, definitely. I just think that, and that was being a father, a provider, husband, a grandfather. Like I said, he always put himself ahead of everybody else. He was a great guy. He definitely will gonna be missed. No doubt about that. So, I wanted to stop in and say, guys, how what everybody means to me, and we're always still thinking about you over here. So, it don't just stop. I feel your pain. I know what you guys have went through, but keep on going, man. Keep on going, because that's what he wants you to do. I know how proud he was of you.
Thank you.
Hawk. Yeah. So it's good to see you on here, and it's good that at least with the testimony with some of the guys that at least. I mean, you're one of the first guys that have come on here or called in. That to kind of share the story with that. So, I don't know if there's like any memorable story or any particular story that sticks out in your mind with Blundy involved in the match.
It might have been. I tell you what, it might have been. I think it was maybe at the Oakley Lindsay Center. Can't remember. We were wrestling and we were doing something, and I can't. Because me and you played, well, we've never really had a match against each other, to be honest with you, except for the Studs Memorial. That was it. But something was going on. It was a tag team or something like that. And he was going to hit me with a cane. I don't know if you remember that, with his cane. And he goes, how hard do you want me to hit you? I go, hit me. So he goes, oh dude. He goes, I'll just hit you a little bit. I go, no, man, you need to hit me. He was so freaked out that I had him smack with that thing so hard. He, dude, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. I go, it's okay. It's what I wanted you to do, man. You did good. But he left a welt. He left a welt on my back with it. I can tell you that.
But that was him. He never really wanted to hurt anybody. He wanted to always get involved, but he was always scared of hurting somebody because he wanted to protect everybody, not only like me or he always worried about who I was working in a match, but he always wanted to make sure I was protected. But he always wanted to protect the guys that I was working because he knew he always wanted to have a part. And the thing is every worker that I've ever worked, one of the first things they've asked is, how do we work your dad into this match? They always wanted to get dad involved. And I don't know if that was their thanking to him for doing what he did behind scenes, but that was cool. And I don't think he really realized how many people actually came up and said, hey, how do we work your dad in on this spot? Or how do we work him in on here? And, he was always made sure that he took care of any part he had. He wanted to do it at his best. Yeah, he screwed up quite a bit, and he would hate himself for it, but he always wanted to make sure that that person was safe at all times. So that's just who he was.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think Virgil was he'll remember this one. We were at the Oakley Lindsay Center, and I was on the edge of at the edge of the ring, and I stepped. And when I stepped, I actually remember me stepping off the side and completely fell.
Yes. Yes. I do remember that.
I was walking over. He come over and he kneeled down like he was jabbing me with that cane, but he was talking to me at the same time, saying,
Yes.
"Are you okay?"
Yeah. That he did.
I stepped right off the ring, man. And then
I mean, you stepped in. You just said.
I mean,
you stepped and then.
that's how
Yeah.
He always wanted to make sure I was safe. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, one story that I got, he loved to mess with everybody no matter what, because he knew it always kind of livened up the situation. It was when we were at Stud's funeral, and all of us were sitting in that side room, and he's going off on Brenda Talley. Mama something, I won't break out. Yeah. And he just turned around and said, "Go ahead, get on your Hoover round and leave."
Your hoverboard.
He said Hoover round is what it was instead of hover round. And we kept messing with him after that the whole time, to the point that Brenda had a custom shirt made of him with a Hoover vacuum cleaner. And even at the last Hannibal show, she gave him a vacuum cleaner as a joke for that.
Yeah.
That just showed how memorable he was on stuff that everything he would joke about or do got put on a shirt or something like that. I mean,
Boy, what also at my dad's funeral, by seeing, like, I don't think he knew how many wrestlers he's touched or managers of people, but I saw it firsthand at his funeral when there was multiple wrestlers or their wrestlers' wives that would walk up there in tears like it was their own father or their own brother or sister that had just passed away. So to see him have that kind of effect on wrestlers, truly, I mean, it made me smile, because I know he made a lot of friends in and outside of wrestling, but to see them hurting just as much as I was hurting just truly means what kind of guy he really was. So,
Yeah.
we're going to get somebody else on here in a second now, too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he did. That's a fact. All right, Jen. I'm going to keep on listening. You guys take care. I'll see everybody Saturday.
sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, man. Have a good one, brother. All right. So you said somebody else, maybe.
Trying to, yeah. You got this thing, and even how Blundy, it took forever on anything that was technical outside of a phone. And all of us wrestlers don't know how to do a lot of technical stuff. So trying to walk them through a lot of it, like Hawk and everything. We got a member of PYT at some point coming on. I told him to click on it, or he's going to call the number. So we're waiting to see there. So.
Oh, okay. So I'll make sure to keep looking. I meant to change.
And electrocuting yourself at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's the only way you're going to do anything shocking in the world.
Hey, Ruby, if you're in the PYT mansion, you wouldn't be having that problems. We never have any of that kind of problems in the PYT mansion.
Yeah, the only thing that happens is chairs get broke.
That's about it.
Yeah, I know. It's these darn gremlins that are taking over my phone, or devices, I should say. So I hate it. I wish there was a way I can. I'm trying to make some changes here. So if you hear anything in the background, sorry.
We hear electrocution.
Yeah. Nobody's trying over here. Yeah, and I forgot how to do this. Okay. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, well then never mind.
Hey, right there, it's good.
Right here is good.
Yeah, we don't hear anything else.
Hold on. Look at this one.
Hey man, I don't trip. I don't trip.
You shock,
You
man.
shockmaster.
No, that's perfect. We don't hear none of it now.
Okay. I must have had it too close to the board. I think that's probably what the problem was. I had the field was too close to the board. So, all right.
Nope.
But I'll keep it active on here.
It's
So-
doing it
Doing
again.
it again.
No, it's not.
Now it's not.
No, it's not.
Oh my god.
No, you're good. Don't touch anything.
Well, that's gonna be hard to do, you know. Very
I
fun.
want to say no on that one because I mean, they want the belt. Playboy wants one of the or both of those belts from you. I know that.
Yeah, but that's not sound equipment, so that's neither here or there right now.
Hold on first before I show one of the comments. So we had this one that was said about you, and then this one as follows.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know how I'm making a living, man. You know.
I did give the person the number and the pin for the conference.
Oh no! Oh, I that line got disconnected. Hold on, I gotta hold on. Let me go and call it back.
You know, that might be why we didn't have any calls if you disconnected that, Ruby.
It just jumped off. So no, I'll get
To
it.
the one that I've been helping, give him a second so he can log back in on that.
Yeah, hold on 1 second here. I'm the only person in the conference anyway, so toodaloo. All right. So that's ready in case that person calls in. And hopefully. All right. So yeah, so we got that. I guess we'll wait on that here. And I'll turn this up a little bit in case of trying to get in. So
Yeah, you see, somebody's trying to get in and you're messing it up.
well, I mean, if it's that other number other than what we're displaying here,
Which number are you trying to call, Reed? Let us know real quick because I gave you one in the thing with the number.
oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Yay, Ruby did
There we
something.
go.
Hey, Ruby,
Yeah, man.
can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. You can hear us, right?
Thank God we got this figured out. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 minutes.
Sorry, man.
Get your technology working, brother.
Man, I just called it right back. I got in like less than 30 seconds. But-
Anyway, I'm glad you guys reached out. As a member of PYT, I've been watching the video. I know that, all you guys are sitting there, and I just want to say Blundy was a huge part of my life by far. I mean, even before I was in PYT, I started out years ago with Neil, and, when Playboy first started, and, him being in the locker room with me and giving me pointers when I had been in the business 5 seconds and making me laugh. The guy made me laugh nonstop. And it was so funny because no matter what was going on, I could just walk up and, say anything to him. He'd be like, "Shut up, stupid." It didn't matter what I said. And, I'm gonna tell you the honest truth, man. I'm gonna miss the guy like there's no tomorrow. I mean, he was amazing. He deserves everything that everybody's talking about, and I don't know how I'm gonna go on in this business, probably not, actually, but he was a amazing part of my career, and I'll never forget him.
Well, like I said, I mean, it definitely will be a void that will not be filled in the same capacity. But you know, uh, you know, we just got to remember the good things that that and the good memories and the good things that he's left us with, and we just have to go on. Playboy will be doing the same thing, and he definitely one of the part of the foundation to get PYT going, and he'll definitely be missed, man, and you know it definitely be a different feel come Saturday whenever we're getting everything together for ACW down in St. Clair. So, um, yeah, yeah, any, oh yeah, and of course the flyer is being displayed there, which will be Saturday. Which tickets are still available, I do believe, for those who want to come down. $5 will get you in the door. I will say it is an outside show. It will be warm, so make sure you keep yourself cool. So,
And the biggest thing to remember is Blundy has been one of the ones that was so helpful getting a lot of the shows going that you see with ACW the rest of this year. Biggest tribute you can do to Blundy is be at those shows.
oh yeah,
Fans, workers, whatever. I mean, just be at those shows, and that would put the smile on everybody's face on that.
yeah. So, yeah. So I mean, it's something that will. It's something that all we can do is just honor him and just carry on and do the best we can, and that's all we can do. That's all we can do, and we know that we can do it. So,
I agree, but here's the biggest thing, and I know that people have probably said it, but I'm gonna say it again. He was so proud of his son. So freaking proud of Playboy and how hard he worked.
Yes, sir.
And what he did in that ring. And if Playboy is listening, which I know he is, if he can remember anything about him, that man was proud of you. Every second you were in front of a crowd.
no,
Every second.
Thank you.
and definitely. Like I said, even Andy the Lumberjacks chiming in saying he was a great guy every time that he met him. So yeah, so yeah, I mean it's you know, I'm actually envious. I'm a little jealous of me and my dad were close, but not as close as Playboy and Blundy were, and he was there to watch him succeed in the ring. So hey, not every father and son gets that opportunity, especially on the independent level.
Agreed.
Successfully, I should say, successfully, and for a good while. So I mean, you have a lot of factors that you guys have pulled off. I mean, a lot. In the years that he was involved with you, um, as a member of PYT. So, um, you know, you know, you know, Saturday is going to be, it's going to be warm. It's going to be outside, and all we got to do is just pull together and help out wherever we can, because the fans deserve the show at St. Clair. I will say that the fans deserve the show, and I hope I can put on a heck of a match too, because I know that even with watching and making that the opening tonight and with the 10-bell salute, I know it kind of tore at me a little bit, still, because it's just unbelievable that he's not here. But all we can do is honor him, man, and carry on and do the best we can. because he's going to be watching down from above, no matter what we do. Because he'll be watching over ACW. He'll be watching over the guys that the guys that he's touched in this business, and for certain, I will say that a lot of his work did not go recognized because honestly, I don't think he really wanted any recognition from it. I mean, heck, he didn't even want to get paid. For doing his job, he didn't want no money back from all the food he provided and everything else. He wanted to provide that, and there's hardly anybody I can really think of. There might be one or two, but really, there's a lot of people in this business that would not do what he did, and I will attest to that. So,
Rarely rarely do we see on the independent level food provided for all the workers and their families and everything like that. That was probably one of the rarest things, and why he stood out, because he wanted everybody to be elevated to a different level and feel better to work somewhere because somebody helped provide the food or whatever too. And it did help motivate everybody. It's like they're taking care of us.
And you hit it on the head right there. I mean, the guy cared about everybody in that locker room. He cared about whether they were successful or not successful, and if they weren't, he was talking to them in the back, trying to help them out. And he brought food. He pulled people aside. He did so many things for so many people over at least 20 years. I started in 03, and I think Playboy might have started, a few years before me. But the guy was just unbelievable with wrestlers and organizations, and, making you feel like if you were down, he would make you feel like $1 million. So you went out and put on a show. And he had a gift to make people feel like they were $1 million all the time.
Yes, he did.
Except for maybe the fans.
We don't have to bring up what he called the fans, or said, other than the one thing, which is right there on this lovely shirt, which you can get this weekend at ACW.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
you know what? Those fans respected him. They respected him. They may not have liked him, but a true fan knows the game, and they understand the job of a heel, the job of a babyface. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you had all those fans in one arena right now, and you told them what we're talking about right now, everybody would be in tears, because they knew and respected what type of man he was.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to kind of ask out here, to Playboy and Virgil, just so we know what to expect this weekend. Is there going to be any type of PYT or Blundy merchandise that will be available for sale to the fans?
Yeah, there's we had ordered up on Shut Up Stupid shirts. We hopefully will have them. Hopefully we'll have them for Saturday. And then also, right now, I've already went about 200 of these bracelets. They're not actually going to be on sale yet, because I'm pretty much giving those to the wrestling families as my thank you to them. And man, has it really been a turnout, because I've already went through almost 200 bracelets. Thankfully, I was convinced that I should order up more of those bracelets.
So I still told you 1,000 though. Remember that?
So as soon as I can get those bracelets to the wrestlers and their families, I will have those available. And then also, ACW has come up with some window decals for cars to recognize Dad.
Right.
They should be available, and And I don't think we're really charging for those. It's more of donations. Whatever somebody wants to give to them for those decals will all go to Dad for something towards him. We were going to do a bench. We were going to do a bench.
Sorry.
You're all still there,
Oh,
just so you know. Okay.
We were going to do a memorial bench at his graveyard, but I don't know if we're allowed to do that yet. But there's one of the stickers that goes on the window decal. There's another one that says Pimpin Al Forever, I believe. It's,
Shut Up Stupid is on
it's
it.
at the Shut Up Stupid one, which I'm pretty sure that's going to be the most popular one. What I was told by those individuals that have made those for Dad are just asking for donations. So I've had people up to give $20 for a sticker. I've had people, wrestling families, that it says, here, take this money for the bracelet. And like I said, that money's not going in my pocket. I'm not using any of that money for my personal use. It was all going to a benefit of some sort to Dad. I know he was always the type of guy that turns down money, but this time he can't turn it down, and it's going to go directly to him. Some way, somehow, that money will be used towards that. So right now, we've just bulked up on the Shut Up Stupid shirts because we've got a lot of people that have asked for them. And I truly do feel like these next few wrestling shows might see a little bit of a change in Playboy as far as being cheered, possibly. Because of how much Dad truly touched in wrestling. As far as the cheering style, I mean, I'm still going to be the same old guy that I've been for the last 20-something years. But it's going to be an emotional time, but we definitely have been trying to go out and supporting these shirts, so we've bulked up on them. It was Dad's creations. He wanted to make sure the Shut Up Stupid was on the front instead of the back. We tried to tell him put it on the back and not the front. But he wanted it up front and center. We've bulked up on the shirts. We'll have those available. We even actually bulked up on 2, 3, and 4X sizes because we have a lot of guys that are bigger guys that want the Shut Up Stupid shirt. So maybe we can pack out that place in pink and black for Dad at St. Clair, and that'd be awesome. So right now, just the Shut Up Stupid shirts. The bracelets will be available once I give out and give back to the wrestlers and their families. And then we'll have the window decals are donation only.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Which, you know,
That is awesome.
yeah, man. Which I know that I've got a couple decals. I've got to get around to cleaning my car or clean the windshield or the window I want to put it on because I want to make sure it's clear, nothing's on it. That's just how articulate I am.
I want to see that on your car Saturday.
It will be there, I promise. Trust me. I got a lot of things to do tomorrow. Tomorrow is we're enjoying. We're having our conversations here tonight, and tomorrow it's game on. And nobody better cross me because I'm just trying to get my game face on to do the best I can for the show on Saturday. But no, it will be on there, I promise. They're still in my vehicle, so they will be on there. So yeah, but that's awesome, man. And Reed, recently, he was, of course, representing PYT and in WPW as the heavyweight champion too. And of course, you guys don't know how that all transpired. Playboy had it, and then lost to Johnny Rocco, and then Reed got it. So.
Don't know what that was. I'm just going to
Oh gosh!
Are you gonna make me? And I lost it in a match that I should have won. I mean, if the ref would have been paying attention at any point in that match, it would have been over within 5 minutes. But of course, Curtis gets the one up on me and steals the dang thing.
Yeah.
But you know what? As I've said the whole show, Reed, once you were PYT, you're PYT for life. Curtis was PYT. So technically, PYT still has the title.
Yeah,
That's weird math there in wrestling terms.
he,
There,
he
so.
just chooses not to represent. But man, yeah, but
I'm PYT for life, whether I'm, a baby face or heel, and what organization. I always identify myself with PYT, and I always will.
Amen.
yeah,
Amen, brother.
yeah, and I actually had to go out and buy this shirt. So, but I had
Cool T-shirt, so you see.
no, it's not. No,
Hey, you look good in pink there, by the way.
yeah, I've been told. Hey, finally, it's starting to get a little darker around my neighborhood. See, I told you about these lights. See,
Yeah.
A lot better than that booger green you always wear.
Can I say something?
It's all you.
Or
Oh, my
The
wife's
big
wearing
green goblin.
a T-shirt to bed right now, and that's all she's wearing.
oh wow, what?
How you like that?
And you couldn't get the video feed going here, Reed?
Oh my gosh. So
Hey,
I guess Reed Rain's only got about another minute or so before he heads out.
Look at that one there.
You're gonna
Look at
kick me off?
No, I'm not kicking you off, brother.
Hey,
I'm just
Ruben,
saying.
do you know what we always called each other when we always, change each other's names?
Right.
You
Yeah.
remember what I always called you?
Yeah, the big green goblin.
But I do have to say that, I've had a lot of members come in PYT, but there's been some real dedicated men.
Amen.
That knowing that, PYT couldn't stay together as long as I would want it to be. But there has been some really good guys that have really been there through thick and thin. And Reed has always been one of the guys that Dad always enjoyed sharing the locker room or sharing our quote unquote corner that everybody said that PYT corner. PYT is a special part of me. Yeah, there you go.
including the two idiots in the background. Too.
Right.
Technically three, but
PYT is a special group. It was a special group of wonderful men that really represented. I mean, yeah, everybody says the PYT for life, but for some men, that is a true statement. If you've even worn the pink and black, I mean, you should feel honored. And there was many guys that put on that shirt that were honored to wear that shirt or honored being called PYT. And there was guys that busted their ass each and every night out there. And Dad was always proud of all of them. He enjoyed every bit of them. Obviously, we wore them out a lot of times in RCW when we were constantly out at every segment. But he truly had fun with it. And I know Reed was one of the guys that he truly enjoyed being around. There was Bradley Stevens' dad really liked being around. Obviously, Hawk and Stud and Marcus. I mean, if you could look back at all the members that we've put in PYT over the years, and if you actually get a full-out picture of every member in PYT, you're talking about a dominant stable, probably one of the top stables in all of independent wrestling. And that just truly shows the type of leadership that Dad had on each and every one of those men.
Yeah.
I agree 1,000%.
Yeah.
I mean, deep down, Dad was the true leader of PYT.
Yes, he was.
and take a look there, how good the belt looks pink on that one.
Yeah, and I always claim that, I was the leader of PYT, but deep down, Dad was the true leader of PYT.
Yes, sir.
We lived it. We played it. We lived it. We loved it. And it's definitely for life for sure.
Who actually came up with the PYT thing? Did your dad do that years ago?
No, it was actually Travis Cook came up with it. And it was just PYT at the time, and then Joker and Dice put on the ink because they were part of PYT as the bodyguards. So it's kind of a mixture of a couple different guys.
Because it was just you and
It was me and Jason Chaz with Travis Cook. was the original just PYT tag team. It was no stable, it was no group. It was just the Pretty Young Things. And obviously I was a lot younger then. And then when we moved to UWA, I still kept the PYT thing. We added the Inc there with Joker and Dice. And then we kind of started to add members there and then dismember people. But it definitely has grown huge. And I'm proud of each and every member that has been in that group and stable. I couldn't thank them enough. And I know each and every one of those guys and some girls wore that pink and black with pride and probably still do. And obviously when you have fans in the crowd that you can go to each and every night that are not only booing you wearing your merchandise, but they also cheer you and they always enjoy poking at you. So it really tells you that you're doing something right. And those guys knew the heat that they would get just being in PYT. They lived it. They loved it. They loved every bit of it. They played it to the T. We all fed off of each other. And if I was the best one in the group, you know what? I don't say that I was the best because we all just worked as a team, and that's how we went in with that mentality. But we all fed off each other. We enjoyed every bit of it. I know Dad was proud. So it truly is an honor to have all those men that have come through PYT and still represent PYT in other organizations and still have their family and friends wearing PYT merchandise. It's just beyond just speechless of what
my kids were 10 kinds of ticked off whenever I became a babyface in some other organizations like ACW because they loved, the girls especially, they loved wearing the pink. They were like, what do you mean? I can't wear this sweatshirt anymore when I come to your shows? Are you kidding me? And I was like, oh, you can still wear it.
In other words, what we're saying is you don't have to follow Reed, just follow PYT.
Right.
But like I said, Reed was
it was just funny. It was like, we're you're our stepdad. We gotta follow you. And I'm like, well, but I don't wear pink anymore. And they're like, but I like this shirt.
Talking about stepkids, his doesn't even support him ever on the show.
It's always somebody. It's everybody else but me. So,
and I guarantee Saturday she'll be wearing one of these. Available ringside.
There you go.
Thank you.
We have probably 20 hoodies and T-shirts that say PYT on them in this house.
Oh my gosh. Shoot, man. Yeah.
I'm gonna miss that man. I'm gonna tell you. I've been thinking about him every freaking day. I actually called Playboy the other night. I guess it was last night, just because I was thinking about Blundy and just triggered me to go. I need to call Playboy and see how he's doing. Kind of thing. I can't get him out of my head. I miss him so much. I couldn't imagine, being a son and what he's going through because I'm not his son and it kills me, so.
Yeah. Like I said, it definitely is going to be someone who it's going to be a different feel, with him not there Saturday. And when we do these shows come August, which I know he had a lot of part of, which
Sure.
Coming with August 14th, and I'll let the kid out of the bag. I don't care if someone doesn't want me to say
August
it.
the 1st.
August.
Well, other shows first.
Oh,
you forgot about that.
Yeah.
One. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was
Hold on. Let's
thinking
use the phrase. Pimp out the August 1st show.
There you go. About the August 1st show.
Done
Yeah.
now for
Yeah. So, that for August 1st, though, for WPW at Collinsville, that will be a tribute show to him. And from what I've been told is that proceeds will go to, go toward him for a benefit, whatever. And then talk about the other shows that he worked hard on. for ACW come, for August, especially with August 14th with Lost Valley Lake. We even talked about, possibly doing a barbecue and everything, even or whatever before the show. I'd say, let's still try to put it on. Who says we can't
Heck
cook?
yeah.
Who says we can't cook?
Hey, I'll take over the grill. I love cooking. I'll do it just because I know that was a thing that Blundy wanted to do, and I'll take over the grill if everybody wants me to. I'd be happy to.
Look at that!
Oh.
Stuffing in. Look at that! Reed Rain with the save. Awesome, man. And
Thank you.
we'll all be doing our part to be part of that as well. But man, I was gonna say, we still continue on. So, oh jeez. Don't let Shaft cook. Apparently, that's what Michael Lilly said.
Don't let Shaft cook.
So the show we were talking about is right here.
Yep. So that. Yep.
Oh, good.
And it's amazing that we finally get to see Playboy and Butcher get their hands on the CHWA rejects of PT Beckham and Exodus.
That ought to be a fun match. That ought to be a fun match for sure. Don't let Shaft cook.
And don't forget, if anybody wants to be part of it, you got the Shut Up Stupid Battle Royal also.
Hold on.
Everybody that's expressed interest is probably a 70, 80 person battle royal right now. So we don't know how that's going to happen, but we'll find out.
So
who did you say? CHWA what?
Rejects. PT Beckham and Chris Exodus.
I've never heard of them.
nah.
They're little wannabe famous fools.
I'll get phone
No
calls.
matter how much, I'll finally get my hands on them.
Right.
No matter how much he's ripped into them, and I've ripped into them, they actually still honored his dad also.
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
I finally get my hands on Chris Exodus that night. He's been running from me for quite some time. I've already beat his boy PT Beckham many times. I beat him inside his own house. So I'm not worried about PT Beckham. I'm more focused on Chris Exodus because now he can't run. And to do it and to actually finally get my hands on him on a tribute show to my dad, it's going to be even sweeter.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, but at least my name's on the poster, just not my picture, which is good. It's okay.
But that show truly means a lot.
It is. I mean,
WW didn't have to do that, and they know they're not going to make money off that because they said all the money's going to go, obviously to Dad. And like I told before, I'm not pocketing any of this money. It's truly going to him of some way, of some sort. So I can't thank them enough for what they're doing to do a tribute show to him. He hadn't been at WW for quite some time just because of health reasons. He just couldn't do all these wrestling shows. And now we know why he wasn't showing up at a lot of those shows, just due to his health. And they didn't have to do that, but it shows how many people. It shows how many people he touched in that organization as well.
Yeah, Playboy, it's about respect, brother. I mean, everybody in this area knows who your dad is. They know how much he's done for this sport in this area. Everybody, if they don't do a tribute or something for him, it would really surprise me because he, everyone's known him. You've been around, 20 plus years. He's been around 20 plus years. Everybody's doing that to pay respect to him and pay respect to you. I mean, that's the bottom line.
And the thing with that too, Reed, is like so many shows have been inviting him to talk about his dad and doing the 10 bell thing. We've had so many companies from PWE,
MMWA,
CHWA, and
MMWA,
and IEW will be doing it, and then so many of them. ACW. Definitely. I mean, and there's just so many of them that been asking him to show up to talk about his dad. So And
Of
the
course.
piece is like true immortality is achieved by living on in the hearts and minds of others. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're etching Blundy into everybody that remembered him, or they may not have heard of him before, but they do now.
If you want my opinion, the next time they talk about the Hall of Fame, he should be in there.
Amen.
100%.
Amen.
Yeah, and
I would petition both, not only the Midwest, but the St. Louis one too.
yeah, well, knowing as a guy that's going to be going in, and trust me, there's definitely going to be some adjustments on
And his
the list I
opinion
bring
counts,
in.
and your opinion counts on a lot of the voting too. So, as all the other Hall of Famers agree. And I think pretty much most of the living Hall of Famers were at either day. So I think that's a guarantee that he'll be in within the next year or so, if not the next class.
Yeah. Yeah, I
He
said,
deserves every bit of it.
yeah. So he, yeah, like I said, he's done a lot. I almost want to say, he's like an unsung hero. He's a guy that makes a lot of things work and doesn't want no recognition. He's, uh, yeah, I just for what I've seen him do, it's almost speechless and also with with very everybody should be grateful for what he's done. For if you were part of it, if you were in a promotion where he was part of, and you've seen him do everything he did behind the scenes, then you would know the appreciation that you should have for what he done.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and guys, I mean, I will say this: probably the ball wouldn't get going again for RCW if it wasn't for Chris.
Yeah.
Yes.
For Blundy,
Yes.
he got Frank's blood boiling again. Like, hey, why ain't you doing this? He had like some downtime, for like about a couple of years or so. If it wasn't for that,
He was actually the one that reached out to Frank back when RCW came back.
yep. So if it wasn't for him doing that, probably RCW might be still hung up to dry without any of the years that they were active. From like 2016 into to the pandemic.
Well, let's look at everything with ACW right now too. All the shows, like we were saying, after the WPW August 1st show, you have the return of wrestling to Lost Valley. You have wrestling with ACW going down to Branson, and all of them are attributed to the work that Blundy did for that.
And we all know that. And that's exactly why we're all going to be there. You know what I mean? We're all going to support those shows. We're going to do everything we can because we know that, especially Branson, I don't know as much about the Lost Valley, but I sat in a meeting and listened to everything he talked about the Branson thing. That was, I believe, him and his nephew, like, setting that whole thing up. So,
and they can confirm or deny or whatever on that too. So,
yeah. So here's a question, the topic that came through here, and I'll post this here with Butch. About a special class for Blundy. Well,
it's kind of hard because Blundy was in the class all his own.
I know exactly. I mean, but he, like I said, he's done quite a bit. And for somebody to measure up like what he did, for those for like who for like if I had to compare something like that, it was like class of his own. If you want to take in baseball terms, like the Roberto Clemente Award, something like a Man of the Year award or something of that nature, that's the type of award that Blundy would be on his own, or something of that
would be
equivalent,
awesome.
So,
Ribby, I think that's a fantastic idea.
So I mean, he, something, but as far as like trying to make something like that, as far as recognition for those who've done anything in the industry, because trust me, right now things are a little tense between a few organizations, even with us coming back. And I hate seeing the tension, but I can understand on some levels. But at the end of the day, where is it going to get you? So that's all I'm just going to say.
I'm going to add to that and everything. It's like we all seen that all this fighting gets us nowhere. Why do it? I mean, I understand as well the reasonings behind some of it, but again, we're all family, and that's how Blundy saw everybody in the locker room as family.
Right. And like I said, these upcoming weeks, I'm like for next week, I'm going to try to pull Chaos and Riot in, right before this IEW show. And then also just confirmed last night, I haven't talked to you yet, GQ, about it, but this was literally right before midnight where I was talking. But apparently on July 15th, we're having Herb Simmons come back on the show as our special guest. And he's got quite a bit of things going on, as you know. One of them being with what he would like to talk about is a book that's going to be coming back again. Another book regarding with the chase. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to and we just have to enjoy what we've got right now, guys, because like I said, we can't do this forever. All we can do is do the best we can and just kind of watch where we're just I guess watch what we're doing. I mean, we try not to step on toes, but if it happens, it happens. And at the end of the day, we're all going to be out of this someday, whether it be by, if we're able to get out of it or if health forces us to. But, I'm hoping.
I like this comment that was posted in there.
There you go. Okay. I agree, Tiffany. Yeah. Cut the crap and band back together, I agree. And I hope at some point. I mean, not every and it's not just in wrestling, but you can't please everybody. It's a proven fact. You can't please everybody, and it's a hard pill for me to swallow because there's people I know that don't like people that I hang with or whatever. Not in wrestling, guys. Don't worry about that. It's outside of wrestling, so don't worry. But it's just the way that it is, It could be as, like maybe, maybe Tim's girlfriend doesn't like any of the people that he hangs around with,
Who?
This guy. I know. Hey, God bless the night owl who just had a birthday, man. He had me on the show, and I got called by my mark name so many times to make Rex Skill look like a professional. I'm sorry, but it did.
I remember one of the shows recently. Also, somebody just kept calling you by your shoot name a little bit. Come on, name.
Oh, yeah, I know.
What the heck? That's not. No, it's Rick.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't use his first name. Nobody uses their first name in wrestling. I'm proof of that. Anyway.
Yeah, right. Oh, but shoot, guys. But I will say that as we're going, as we're talking.
Here, okay.
What did I miss?
Oh. I guess booking got changed. It got hit with the pencil.
Oh, really? I thought the eraser was bitten off. Oh my goodness! Yeah, only if you knew the joke, if you saw what we were doing here. Yeah, love you shaking the stick, but guys, but I will say that I was blown away that I didn't. And the thing that kind of sucks is that I think I really would have liked to known Blundy outside of wrestling, because knowing what his family, I mean, which by the way, great family, you know, absolutely great family you guys got. So, but a lot that I can relate to, like I didn't know that he was active, you know, as an Elks member. You know, I didn't know that he
I didn't know
was.
that either.
I didn't know that he was an active member of a church for so many years and doing things for the church. You know, and a lot of that I can relate to because my dad did the same thing. I grew up in the church as well, and it just seemed a lot of common ties that I had, and it just, you know, I guess a lot of that helps with the bonding. Trust me, because church is all about family, and you know, I mean, I could definitely tell, with the way the with the way all the family that he had and how close they were, I could definitely tell of the bond. And church is very high on family and family values and morals and all that. Um, so it did kind of hit me knowing what kind of guy, what a mark he's left and with everybody. And yeah, so last week was kind of tough because it's like, man, I'm sure he was really an awesome guy to deal with. But on the other hand, I just loved to rib him when I could in the locker room because he would always try to say something and he would leave something just wide open for me to just come back on.
The thing is, though, is he didn't change himself when he came to wrestling. What you guys truly saw of him at wrestling was just him. It was him being himself every day. Yeah, he played a persona or a character that was supposed to be this bad guy, but the guy that you guys all got to poke fun at in the locker room, that was Dad every day of his life. He gave back to so many different people to see what he did for us kids or his wife. I mean, what you truly saw every day he showed up to wrestling was just him. He didn't put on a show just because he was at wrestling. That was him every day of his life, in and outside of wrestling. I mean, that was the guy that he was and loved being to the day that, he was no longer here. So, yeah, he was an Elk member. He loved the military. He was proud of being a veteran. He was active in church. He just loved life. He truly did. And, if I could take anything from him, that'd be one thing. And I know Searcher posted a video that kind of cheered me up a little bit, but there's some blooper videos that he put out there. And that guy, I mean, it took him like 100 takes to nail down like a whole line.
I have one question actually with that. Where can you find Razor Razone?
Yeah, Razor. Yeah. Don't ever ask him and Blundy to do a promo with you because you'll literally be there for hours at a time to nail down like a single one-liner. But just to see that video, to hear his voice, to hear him laughing, and it's truly crazy because you guys, obviously you didn't know him outside of wrestling, but I'm telling you right now, you guys did know him because that was who he was every day that he lived. He loved living life. He lived life to the fullest. Obviously, he left young, but that was truly who he was. He loved life, and he just loved everything about it.
And the most amazing thing that I've seen is like he has a clone kind of him, his best friend.
Yes. And the bond that him and his best friend have is beyond belief. And the ones that were there at his funeral can relate to this. Those two, when you talk about best friends, those two were legit best friends. To be best friends, to meet in high school choir,
47
and
years.
40-something plus years of having a best friend. That I say my dad's my best friend, but normally your father is one of your best friends if you have that close relationship. But these are two strangers that met in high school that carried on a friendship like no other. And I mean, there was many nights, probably as a young kid, my grandma was telling me to go home, Terry, or go home, do this. That friendship that they carried and the stories that they've told. And to see, since my dad has passed, to see the tears come out of that man's eyes, really, really hurt. But he stepped up, and he planned on stepping up huge for our family. I can't thank him enough. And he took it hard, and any best friend would. And he even considered my dad. He had brothers too, but he said your dad was like my brother, because he obviously wasn't as close to his brother as, unfortunately, as he was probably to my dad. And for that friendship, I can't explain that. I wish I would have a friend of 40 plus years.
Well, especially
I don't have a personal brother. Everybody thinks that Virgil and I are brothers. We're just cousins, but we have that brother bondship that we have. But them two as best friends is beyond crazy to see that in up close and personal. So, I just wanted to make sure I, shout out for him for what he's done. I don't know if he even knows about this, but at least I can show back to him that, he truly meant a lot to Dad, and I know Dad meant a lot to him. So,
well, he did one of the things that everybody needed last week on Thursday was a good laugh.
Yeah.
When he went up there to talk at the service, the first thing he says, "Well, I took this down to 42 pages for one. We're going to have an intermission. PYT is going to be out in the lobby selling shirts." And everybody, all the workers at least lost
but
it.
that's what he was.
That
He
is.
was always the class. Like, he always made everybody laugh, no matter what. And he would poke fun at Dad right back. But Terry was that guy that would make everybody laugh. And at times he knew he was annoying, but who isn't annoying? I mean, everybody just has fun. And those two, Terry was Norman, the class clown of the group. So. And they always poke fun at Dad, and Dad just took it like a trooper. But then again, Dad would always set himself up for one-liners towards right back at him. But you know what? He was a trooper, and he laughed along and had a good time with it. And just if I had the blooper video, I would show the blooper video up here. It was truly a funny blooper video, and it truly made me laugh on a hard time. I think I watched
do this. Give me a minute.
I think I watched it the day before we went to his funeral, and just to hear his voice and hear him laughing put a huge smile on my face. And that was probably one night that I didn't cry going to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say though, seeing Terry and just the way that he was, I mean, I imagine, between, Terry and your dad, I mean, like two peas in a pod, and always causing trouble, man. Just whenever my dad and his good friends, he had a couple of real good friends, and he was just always prank. God, I got so many prank stories of my dad and his friend are doing to people. It's
crazy, but Dad was a good guy. He loved his wife unconditionally. He loves his kids and grandkids, brothers, sisters. I mean, I told you in my speech how great of a man he was, and he truly loved everyone. So it sucks that he's gone. Wrestling won't be the same. Saturday's going to be hard on all of us. I mean, August 1st is going to be hard on all of us. I actually have my family going to that show. And some of those family members have never seen it. And it sucks that that's the circumstance. They have to come to see wrestling because their, brother or sister or whoever passed, or their son has passed, to go see them actually wrestle sucks. But it's going to be a hard time for all of us. But the wrestling brotherhood and community, fans and wrestlers together, it's just overwhelming with the support that they've given us, my family. I just cannot thank people enough. And this is when times like this really shows who your true friends are in and outside of wrestling.
Amen.
And it doesn't matter. There's been relationships that I've patched up that I didn't think would ever be patched up in 15 plus years. And it sucks that it had to be Dad passing for those friendships or problems to be solved. But you know what? I'm glad that they did, because it makes me feel like a better person that really truly carries on Dad's legacy.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I'm working on getting that video on here. That'd be something that
if you want to guys in with that, I mean, that's awesome. But that blooper video was awesome. And
just downloading.
I have a feeling that there's going to be a couple tribute videos that are going to be out there from either Searcher or Shane over at WPW. They'll be hard to watch, but if those videos ever do get out there, please let me have those, because I've had I'm starting a collection, and while I'm on here, maybe I can shout out to anybody that's watching. I'm starting a collection as far as for my dad. If you've got any pictures or autographs or anything that you've got copies of or whatnot, I'm starting like a wall or some sort. A friend of mine got me a really cool, I don't know, I posted on my Facebook page, but a really cool glass picture of, it was one of our very last pictures of the group of us three, and it lights up, and I haven't turned that light down since I've gotten it, and it shines in the middle of my living room, and I'm surrounding everything around that light with memorabilia from just anything, if it's an autograph or a card that he signed or a picture that you have with him that you may have actually,
Even a shirt. If it's a shirt too.
You know, people said, "Are you gonna?"
I'm taking mine off.
Are you going to
leave yours on?
You know, I don't want to really take out his coat or his hat or anything like that, because that was truly something that he's always had. So I'm going to hold that stuff close to me. But if anybody has anything like that, if they're willing to give back, if they've got copies or whatnot, I'd be more than happy to have it and add it to my collection, because I've got a collection started like no other. I mean, I've got bracelets and cards and pictures that have already been started. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm trying to start that, but I thought that globe or that glass thing was really cool. And that person didn't have to do that. They just knew how close Dad and I were. So, and I know people have reached out and said, "Hey, I've got something for you," or "I've made something for you." I will take it all. It just shows the amount of support that I have out there, and I cannot thank everyone more than anything in the world. It just shows that how many true fans or friends that I have.
Now, did Reed get off the line there?
I think he did. Yeah. Reed, if you're there.
I didn't know that was the sound of calling in or hanging up. That's why I heard
Yeah, I think that was the hanging up sound. I think he had left.
So, because of all this, let's try to have a good laugh here for a second. I can look up for a wrestler called Razor Razone real quick.
Razor Razone.
Hopefully
it'll good. But this is a good laugh. You ready? Here we go.
Town and the people, and then we'll go right back in. All right, come in close.
This night's gonna be a historical night.
The only problem is this town should be made of toilet paper because it's full of crap.
Because it's full of crap.
Yep. Come in. Okay, and 3, 2.
This Saturday in St. Clair, Missouri, Gary Jackson.
Let's do this.
Come on, baby.
All you St. Clair women, you saber-toothed, no-tooth women that want Playboy Double H, y'all need to sit down in your chair and watch Playboy Double H whip Gary Jackson. Because when we walk out, I want you standing up and cheering for the only champ, Playboy Double H. Take your seat, put your teeth in your mouth, sit in the chair, and root for Playboy Double H.
3, 2, go.
This Saturday, St. Clair, Missouri, Playboy, you're wrestling Gary Jackson. I seen him wrestle Razor Ramon.
And I've seen him
Razor It's a Pazone.
Saturday in St. Clair, Missouri, Playboy, you're wrestling Gary Jackson. I seen him wrestle Razor Ramon.
That's all right.
And I've seen him wrestle Demolition.
No. He's got to do it over.
I gotta do. See, I'm always forgetting his name.
For this thing.
Razor Ramon.
Razor Ramon.
That's all you got to say.
Wow, why can't I remember that second part?
Gary Jackson. I mean, come on, guys. It's Gary Jackson.
Yeah. Too bad it's in this town. Oh, shit, I forgot.
Yeah, hold on.
This town, the only problem is that we're in this town that...
3, 2, take 100.
This Saturday in St. Clair, Missouri, Playboy, you're wrestling Gary Jackson, which I seen him wrestle Razor Ramon.
And I've seen him wrestle Demolition.
Guys, settle down. It's just Gary Jackson. I'm not worried about Gary Jackson.
The only problem is this town... I keep forgetting it.
Dude! How many times we gotta tell you?
Can you get a marker?
Can you get a marker?
The only problem is this town should be made of toilet paper because it's full of crap.
Now, if you can't dig that, then you ain't too sweet.
Okay.
Oh my God! Oh,
I saw that the day.
We're all going to get some shit over that, but
yeah, IDC. I don't care, dude. Oh my God!
And this is going to be funnier when I point that one out. And look at Sarah.
Oh, okay.
Wow! Wow! Holy crap! Whoa, man, I'm sorry. That was just
And I tell
that was it. That right there. I'm sorry. If it gets out, it gets out. Whatever. But I think that was something that you had to
Ruby did it. It was all Ruby's idea.
But you know
Just
what?
remember that.
It's stuff like that I want to see, because I'm truly, when I say this, I'm not me, but I'm tired of seeing like all the sad stuff, because Dad didn't want us to be sad. Obviously, he left us early, but seeing stuff like that, that's probably the hardest I've laughed in weeks, and it's so awesome to hear his voice. And that right there was truly who he was. He loved to just have fun. He loved to just go out there and just be by my side every day for wrestling. Just to hear his voice and hear him laugh, and to remember that was our final promo take, truly means a lot to me now. And because I never knew that would be the last promo we take. But hey, at least we can get a good laugh out of it. I got to hear his voice. I got to see him smile.
And the biggest thing to think of is every time we want to cry, think of the 3 words that he would tell you.
Shut up, stupid.
And not cry about it, and respect everything that he's done, and keep doing what you're doing, pissing everybody off.
Right.
Apparently, we'll probably piss the promoter off at some point on this one.
Not
like the first time we all been in the doghouse with the promoter, it ain't gonna be the last.
Yeah, but if anybody gets in trouble, I mean, I'm the one who said play the video clip. I mean, that's something I want out there.
Ruby did it though.
I want people to see the fun that he
strip him with the belt, give her the Playboy.
There you go. Oh man, but we needed that on the note, because I know we've gone a little over our usual 2 hours, but that was something that was definitely needed. But for those that have chimed in here tonight, especially with Reed Rain, all the comments in the chat, between all platforms tonight, yeah, we definitely thank you very much. Yeah, Hawk Elliott calling it.
He figured out technology, was able to video in.
Yeah, he was it. He figured that out, so that's awesome stuff here too. So, but like I said, next week, we'll have information on our page about our show next week, but it will gear towards back into wrestling again. We're going to get back in the groove, and like I said, we're just going to keep pushing forward, moving on, and making great memories. So,
before you sign us off, we got one more little salute for Blundy real quick.
Okay. There you go. I'll see Pimpin Al.
Put it on the camera, Ruby. That's how that works.
Yeah.
This is radio.
But I do truly want to thank you, Ruby. I want to thank you, GQ. You guys didn't have to do this, but
GQ,
whatever. DQ. You guys didn't have to do this.
Ruby, thank you.
I was very, very happy to do this, and hopefully I can be back on this show in a better state as far as, having fun again. So I want to thank you. I want to thank GQ. I want to thank everyone out there for everything they've done for me the last few weeks. I can't not thank you enough. I will have bracelets for each and every wrestler and their family. And if I get to all of them, I think that's the last organization I really have to touch by. So if I have any left over, we can sell them, and we'll probably be sold out by Saturday night. But we definitely will have the Shut Up Stupid shirts. We ordered up on medium, large, extra large. We have 2X, 3X, and 4X, because there's a lot of bigger guys out there that want to support Dad. So thank you enough. And then, like I said, the car decals will be out there. They are donations only, and I was told by who's making them that they will continue to make them as many as I need. So thank you all. I cannot thank you all enough
and that's from the bottom of my heart. And I know Dad would be smiling up there and thanking you all as well.
And if anybody don't know if they'll have shirts available at a show that they're coming up to, contact them a week or two in advance and make sure if you have a lot of shirt sizes that you want of it, contact the Playboy Double H Facebook fan page and be able to get that ordered in and let people know on it.
Yep, absolutely.
Plus, also this Saturday in St. Clair, Missouri, you can get these shirts, not the hats, and you can't get this good looking.
We will have hats,
We
but
will
we
have-
don't have that many available still, but we have some available.
Yeah.
Once we fill those, we'll get some more. But we always have merch. So, but I know there's certain merch that wants to be sold now, and we will do our best to stay in stock and keep it up to stock for as long as we can, as long as we're selling it. So,
Absolutely. So, guys, yeah, I mean, great show tonight. And glad that I'm happy to do this because this is the least that we could do. And I will say that if someday when my time has come, if I get at least even half of that, I will be truly blessed as far as being missed and all that, because truly your dad was a well deserving of a send off, and let me trust me, his funeral was really touching. You know, the motorcade to there and all the people that are involved in the line, paying the respects. I mean, my goodness, it was fantastic, and I'm glad that he got that. So, but we're happy to do this for you. It was the least we can do. And with that being said, from the PYT Mansion, I'd like to thank once again Playboy Double H, Virgil Holmes as well, and of course Mr. GQ that happens to sneak in. And guys, and like I said, check your fridge and see what your supplies, if they diminished them any.
Hey, Dave. Ruby. Dave, Ruby.
It's okay. Stay back. It's okay.
Hey, shut up, stupid.
All right. Yep. Exactly. All right, guys. Well, I think we should close the show the way we opened it. How's that? All right, guys. We will see you next week. Thank you very much for tuning in this week, and we will see you back at our regular time at 8 p.m. next week. And we will see you next Thursday. Have a great weekend, guys. Don't forget to see ACW in St. Clair, where you can get all the PYT merchandise. And have a good night, guys.
I didn't mean to, dude.